In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make your own witch hat inspired by Dani Dennison from the movie Hocus Pocus.
Welcome, my pretties, to the Awfully Sweet channel.
I printed a witch hat pattern at 85% on cardstock paper and cut the 8 small pages. The link to the pattern is in the description box. I then lay out the pages and tape them together on the front and back for the top of the hat. I cut the shape along the red line and do the same steps for the brim of the hat. I then trace the brim twice on a poster paper to get a donut shape and cut around the circle. To remove the middle, I place the piece of poster on a cutting mat and make an incision with a craft knife. I then remove the circle with scissors.
Donut.
Using a purple acrylic paint pen, I'm tracing the top of the hat twice on black felt. I then cut the shapes with scissors. I also trace and cut 2 big donuts. To remove the middle, I fold the circle near the line to make a small incision first. This way, you can keep this beautiful piece of felt for another project. On the brim pattern, I remove the edges by cutting along the black lines. I place it back on my big donut and trace the new dimensions. I cut the edges with scissors and trace a new donut on a poster paper. I cut the circle and remove the middle. I'm gluing my donuts together with a glue stick. On the hat pattern, I'm tracing a line above the one visible at the base and cut along the black lines. I trace the pattern on a poster paper and cut the shape. I hot glue my double-sided donut to one of the black felt donuts. I also glue the piece of poster to the black felt hat. I then glue the second piece of felt on top of it, avoiding the black edges. I cut the edges to the side that will be inside of the hat, only the edges that will meet to close the hat, not the base. This way, there will be one layer of felt to sew. I'm using a black sewing thread to close the hat. To measure the length, I measure the height 3 times. Since this thread is very thin, I make at least 3 knots at one hand and place it inside of my needle. I place 2 sewing pins to make sure that my piece of felt will stay aligned while I work. I'm going to blanket stitch starting at the top of the hat. If you don't know how to blanket stitch, I made a video tutorial for an ornament. Go check it out. Once I get close to the sewing pin, I remove it and keep going. When I reach the end, I make 2 knots to the side and place my needle inside of the hat between my 2 pieces of felt to hide the thread. I cut the excess with scissors. I'm making small incisions all around the base of the hat. I'm placing the blue donut covered with black felt on top of the hat. I glue the first layer of the hat to the donut. I then go back and glue the second layer to the first one. I can then glue the other black felt donut to the poster paper donut. And just like that, we have a black witch hat to decorate. I wanted to incorporate one of the suns from Dani's costume, so I drew a design and printed it on cardstock paper. The pattern will be available on my Facebook page. The link is in the description box. I divided the sun into smaller parts and traced them on green, orange, and yellow felt. I then cut the shapes with scissors. I glue my pieces on top of each other to assemble the star. I'm cutting the green corners under the orange corners for them to not be visible. I keep gluing my pieces together until I reach the last yellow circle. I'm creating a stencil for the sun's face by removing the details with a craft knife.
This is the face of a child.
I place the stencil on my yellow felt circle and trace the details with a fine black Sharpie. I'm using black fabric paint that I transferred into a smaller bottle to paint the face of the star. And voila! I let it dry overnight. Once dry, I glue the face in the middle of the orange circle and glue the star on my black hat. I'm using some black tulle fabric to place around my hat. I do 3 layers and leave a long trail at the back. To add some details to my black tulle, I'm making some handmade confettis with a grocery paper bag and a black acrylic paint pen. I painted a portion of the bag that I'm going to punch with a large round hole punch. I punch a row, empty the punch, cut my empty holes, and repeat until I almost reach the end of my painted paper. An easier and better option would be to use black round cup sequins. Save yourself the trouble. I then glue my confettis with tweezers to my black tulle, making a pattern with diagonal lines. I measure the length for the edge of the brim. I need an orange felt ribbon of about 50 inches long by 1 1/4 of an inch wide. Since my piece of felt is not long enough, I'm measuring 2 smaller pieces that will fit that length. I then glue my orange ribbon around the hat, making sure that the edge of the hat is in the middle of the ribbon. I place my second piece of ribbon right next to the first one at the same height so that it won't be visible that there is 2. When I reach the end, I cut the ribbon to make it fit next to the other one. I then glue the rest of the ribbon under the hat. I place my black tulle fabric around the hat and make a knot at the back. I'm using 2 shades of green pom-poms and 2 shades of orange pom-poms that I glue all around the black tulle fabric. And this completes Dani Dennison's witch hat. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you feel inspired to make your own. If you made it this far and enjoy Halloween DIYs, please be sweet and leave me a little treat by clicking on my pumpkin pail to subscribe to the Awfully Sweet channel. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to know when a new video comes up. There is always enough room on my broom for another crafty ghoul. Thank you for hanging out with me. Have a fabulous day. Bye!